Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, folks. Today's courtroom drama is off the charts. On the docket, we've got a guy named Matthew Aldridge, or at least that's what the paperwork says. The man standing at the podium, though, he's pulling the classic sovereign citizen move, claiming he doesn't have a name and calling himself the attorney of fact. Yeah, not an actual legal role, by the way. Like always with these sovereign types, he's trying to argue the court has no authority over him. But here's the truth. If you're in the court's jurisdiction, the court absolutely has power over you. No exceptions. The judge isn't having any of it and shuts him down in the most satisfying way possible. By the end, the judge has completely outmaneuvered him.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
The judge is handling this guy like a total pro, calm, collected, and completely in control. Every time the defendant tries to push his bizarre attorney of fact routine, the judge shuts it down without breaking a sweat. You can tell he's either had enough of these sovereign citizen antics or just doesn't have the patience anymore, especially once the guy started quoting his imaginary laws. One of the funniest moments? When the judge turned it right back on him, saying he couldn't speak his name either. Judges usually keep a poker face, but that little jab definitely stood out. From the very beginning, it was clear this judge wasn't going to entertain the circus. And honestly, the whole thing just highlights how absurd and useless these sovereign citizen arguments really are.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be a article pre-trial, a trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly, it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. But to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
Sovereign citizens really are a different breed. These are people who honestly believe they can opt out of the legal system just by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll go on and on about things like common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, without having the slightest clue how any of it actually works. Let's be clear. Courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been in place for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no magical loophole where you can just say, those laws don't apply to me, and walk away. Still, these folks keep showing up in court with the same tired arguments, wasting time, and walking out with nothing but a criminal record. Legally, their entire defense falls apart on one basic principle: jurisdiction. If you're within a court's geographic area, that court has authority.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Over you, period. It might sound clever in their echo chambers, but judges have heard all before, and they're not buying for a second. And just to drive the point home, trying to dodge taxes or get out a speeding ticket with this nonsense doesn't just fail. It can actually make things worse. Courts don't appreciate having their time wasted, and the penalties can stack up fast. Personally, I don't get it. Do they really think they're outsmarting the system? Or is this just some strange form of rebellion? Either way, it's absurd, and honestly a little sad. They're not fighting the system. They're just embarrassing themselves. Anyway, that's a wrap for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe, and drop your thoughts on sovereign citizens in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.